Welcome in. Belly up, have a seat, and grab a drink as we talk some Wingman Fantasy Football. Welcome into another edition of Wingman Fantasy Football, the League Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Furley, and as always, I'd like to thank all of you, or any of you, who may be watching or listening to today's show. This is episode 133, a Week 14 Sunday morning Quickie. And in this show, we will see who's in and who's out for Week 14. We'll also review our show's starts of the week, and we'll let you in on the players to watch in our Wingman Jam contest. We're also going to let you know the very best way to get the most updated news to help you set your fantasy football lineups. But before we get any further along, let's make sure that everybody is in the room. Wingmen assemble! All right, now that everyone is here, let's see who's in and who's out, who's hurt or who's not in this week's Actives and Actives. All right, starting off with players that are going to be out this week due to their team having a bye week. We have 6 NFL teams on bye this week, and it couldn't come at a more worse time, as this is pivotal for our managers looking to try and make it on the playoffs on the last week of the regular season. So we will be without players for the Baltimore Ravens, Denver Broncos, Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, New England Patriots, and the Washington Commanders. All right, we have Christian McCaffrey was placed on the IR this week. He's going to miss a minimum of 4 weeks with that knee injury, although he is expected to miss at least 6 weeks before he can recover from said injury. And as we all know, he might be back for the playoffs if the 49ers even make it. But in terms of fantasy, his season is over. His teammate Jordan Mason was also just placed on the IR yesterday, meaning he's going to miss at least 4 weeks as well with an ankle injury. So unless your fantasy football league plays in Week 18, these guys, their season is over. Dallas Goedert as well was placed in the IR. Same thing, 4 weeks. He's going to be out for the rest of the fantasy football season. Evan McPherson, kicker for Cincinnati, was also just placed on the IR this week and will be out a minimum of 4 weeks. Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville quarterback, was also placed on the IR, and he will be out for the remainder of the season as he's going to expected to get shoulder surgery. However, he is not able to get that surgery quite yet until he clears the concussion protocol. J.K. Dobbins, like I like to call him, J.K. Dobby. Excuse me, Mr. Potter, I'd like to get back on the field, please. Well, he's not going to be back for at least 3 more weeks as he is still in the IR and can't return again for those 3 weeks with that knee injury. Chris Olave only has 1 more week that he has to be on the IR, and that includes today, which means he could be able to come back anytime after this week. However, he is going to see a specialist regarding his concussions, and they're going to get a clean bill of health before they even consider designating him to return. As for players coming back from the IR, that's not all bad news, guys. We have Kendra Miller, New Orleans running back, has been activated, and he is expected to play today. Activated. Also, we have Will Riker, Minnesota kicker. He was also activated this week, as the Vikings released John Parker Romo. So Will Riker has been activated. Activated. All right, now for some players who have already been ruled out, and there's some pretty big names on this list. It's pretty upsetting, actually. We have Zamir White, Las Vegas running back, has already been ruled out. Breece Hall, oh man, Breece Hall. Breece Hall has also been ruled out, although there are reports that the injury isn't expected to keep him out long term, or they said they're not planning on shutting him down. All this is nervous talk for me, but I hope he will be able to return in the fantasy football playoffs. Oh, this one hurts. One of our managers, my co-host, Mr. Bernie here, Kenneth Walker, a late scratch on Saturday as he's already been ruled out for today's game. And Cedric Tillman is still in that concussion protocol. He is not progressing at all. He will be out this week against Pittsburgh. Now for players who are questionable and have some different expectations going into Sunday here. Dalton Kincaid, Buffalo tight end, is listed as questionable, but he is not expected to play. Raheem Mostert, Miami Dolphins running back, is questionable, but also not expected to play. Alexander Madison, Las Vegas running back, he's listed as questionable, and he too is not expected to play. This means it's going to be Amir Abdullah and Sincere McCormick. Let's see how those guys can do in the game against the Bucs on Sunday. Malik Neighbors.
Won't you be my neighbor?
He's truly questionable. He's going to warm up and see how his hamstring reacts. He's hoping to play, but there's also an expectation that he may be limited even if he does. Keep that in mind, but definitely check the wingmanfantasyfootball.com website 90 minutes prior to kickoff to get the official word as soon as possible. George Pickens, Pittsburgh wide receiver, is expected to warm up with the intention to play. He is questionable as he had a hamstring injury pop up during the week's practice. There's optimism he can play, but they want to see how his hamstring reacts during the pregame warm-up. So keep an eye on Neighbors and Pickens. These guys might be last-minute scratches, and you're going to want to know that as soon as possible so you can make the appropriate pivots for your fantasy football lineups. Now for other players who are listed as questionable, but these have better news. These guys are all expected to play today. DJ Moore, Chicago wide receiver, is expected to play. DeAndre Swift, running back for Chicago, is also expected to play. Jacoby Myers, Las Vegas wide receiver, listed as questionable, but he is expected to play. Bucky Irving, superstar, running back for Tampa Bay, is expected to play today. And Ladd McConkey, at the moment he's listed as questionable. He's got a ton of injuries from his knees to his shoulders. He's expected to play as of now, but they play the late game on Sunday night, which gives him a little more time to rest, but also gives you a little less options to pivot. So just keep that in mind. He's an awesome player. You want to try and get him in his lineup. At the moment, he's expected to play, but do not write that in stone. There is a chance something may change at the last minute. Now for players who are questionable during the week, but have had their injury designations removed, and all these guys will play. DK Metcalf will be on the field this week. Mike Evans will also play, going for a 1,000-yard season. Devontae Smith finally returns as he practiced all week long, and he is going to play. CeeDee Lamb is off the injury report. He is going to play on the Monday night game against T. Higgins, who is also off the injury report here, and so is Brock Purdy. These players will all play today. All right, guys, for those of you following along here, we're going to let you in on our show's starts of the week. Bring it in. Take a knee. Who wants in?
Oh, pick me! Oh, I know, me!
All right, son, don't let me down. You're in.
Wingman Fantasy Football starts of the week.
All right, guys, we're going to start off with my co-host Bernie. His starts of the week this week. We both went a little crazy in our streamer type plays for starts of the week, but we're going to start off with Bernie's picks here. As he has his quarterback, he has Will Levis is going to be his start of the week at the quarterback position. The Tennessee Titans are up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Jaguars give up the second most points to opposing quarterbacks. His running back this week was the highest priced waiver wire pickup this week, if not for the season, as Isaac Guerendo is in his start of the week, as the San Francisco 49ers are against the Chicago Bears, and the Bears give up the ninth most points to the running back position. Also, he's going with the secondary receiver in Dallas here, as Brandon Cooks is up against the Cincinnati Bengals. We know the Bengals like to give up huge points, so there's a chance for everyone to score here in the passing game, and the Bengals give up the 10th most points to the position. So we got Will Levis, Isaac Guerendo, and Brandon Cooks are the starts of the week for Mr. Bernie. Now, for my starts of the week this week, a little crazy again as well. We have Cooper Rush again in that potential shootout against the Cincinnati Bengals in prime time, and the Bengals give the third most points to the quarterback position. My running back start of the week this week is Alvin Kamara up against the New York Giants, and the New York Giants give the eighth most points to the running back position. And my receiver start of the week is Brock Austin Bowers.
Yeah, baby! Yeah.
Brock Bowers is against the Tampa Bay Bucks, and the Bucks give up the 6th most points to the quarterback position. So quick review, we got Cooper Rush, Alvin Kamara, and Brock Bowers are my starts of the week. All right, guys, I want to let you in on a little game that my co-host and I like to play. It's called the Wingman Jam, and in this game, we pick an NFL team, and then we pick 2 players from that team in a little head-to-head fantasy matchup where our scoring is half-point PPR, 4-point per passing touchdown, and no negative points for turnovers. So let me let you in on this week's Wingman Jam.
Wingman Fantasy Football.
Wingman Jam with Bernie the Bounty Hunter and Amazing Spidey. Boom shakalaka. Cincinnati Bengals, Las Vegas Raiders.
Before and after is category this time. 500.
Pat, I'd like to buy a vowel. All right, so I have chosen the Las Vegas Raiders up against the Tampa Bay Bucks. I want a piece of the pass receiving core in that matchup. And Mr. Bernie picked I forgot how he picked already. He picked, of course, the Cincinnati Bengals with a little bit of Jamar Chase Brown. And that is also, I expect that to be a super high scoring game on Monday night. So both of our teams are playing up against some nice defensive matchups, and we're going to see which one of our combination of players can outscore the other. And we want to welcome you guys to join us here. Just leave a comment, pick your NFL team, and any 2 players from that team. Of course, will be time-stamped there. You can pick any team that hasn't played yet. So if you don't get this until 2 o'clock, pick a game that's at 4 o'clock or later, and you see how you can match up in the Wingman Jam. All right, guys, I want to remind you, if you want to get the most updated news, go to our website at wingmanfantasyfootball.com. There you can get the most updated news. We have a news aggregator, Twitter feeds on there, and, of course, that all-important inactive list that populates 90 minutes before the game. It's very good. Just remember that it lists them in alphabetical order, not chronological order. So if you want to if you want to find the team you're looking for, the player, you just got to scroll through that to find the team you want in alphabetical order. Don't forget, guys, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, and Amazon Music and YouTube Music. Just type Wingman the League in those searches, and you will find our podcast pop right to the top of your search. If you're not sure if you want to watch and or listen to our feed, you can find both mediums of our content here at wingmanentertainment.net/podcast. And of course, we invite you to go to our YouTube channel at wingmanfantasyfootball.com/YouTube. When you go there, guys, please just hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment, and we will get any of your comments into our next mailbag segment. Once again, guys, I want to thank you all so very much for joining me for a Sunday morning quickie. Good luck to you guys in all of your fantasy football matchups. It's the playoff time. It might be win or go home for some of you. So good luck to everyone out there. With that being said, guys, may your glasses be full, your mugs stay frosty, and we will see you next time.